Hello everyone, my name is Clantus and welcome to the Clan. So without further ado, let's get into this video. But before we get into the video, please smash me the like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you're not watching the ads, please watch the ads. And thank you so much. It's the only way you can contribute to all of this stuff that I am doing by liking, watching the ads, and subscribing. After subscribing, click the bell notification so that you get notified every time I am going to upload a new video. So aside from this particular admin, let's get into today's video because you guys have been absent the whole of last week. Actually, I gave you 2 videos, but then after that I disappeared. I did indicate that I was going to disappear because there was something, a tragedy that happened in the family, so I needed to take care of some things. Thank you so much to everybody that sent me some well wishes. I appreciate you guys checking up on me. I'm doing okay. This is very fine because I'm alive and I am appreciative of life. So other than that, let's get to what I was hearing. I don't have all the facts, so nobody must come to me and say, like, you need to do your research. You need to get the facts right. I was hearing things while the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial was happening at the Pretoria High Court. We know it as the North Gauteng High Court. And yeah, let's start with Wednesday. What was Gininda saying on the stand? The man, wow. You know, I've heard of pathological liars before. I've heard of professional liars before. I didn't know that it was actually a thing. Like, you get paid to lie through your teeth. I'm not saying that's the fact that he gets paid to lie, but the way this man was going about it, I was like, wow. I keep wondering, what sort of a child was he when he was growing up? What, is he known as a liar? Nobody should take him serious. But then again, let's go back to Rondeville Kretcher's case. Rondeville Kretcher's case determined that this man is not only a liar, but a torturist. Because there are some people that were accused of something, they were tortured, and the court found Gininda wanting in this particular situation. So now, why should this particular... Okay, never mind. But let me just ask hypothetically, why should this court listen to Gininda when already he is tarnished in a high court? The same high court that holds the same amount of power to overturn anything and everything. So now there he is sitting there and he's lying through his teeth, talking about how the accused... Let's start with the statement. The statement of Zungu. I'm sorry, Buthelezi, the late Buthelezi. I remembered something. There was a statement of Ngache, the late Ngache. It was rejected because it's a dead man. I think the statement of Maqubela, of course, it could not make it into the court because he's a dead man. There was somebody else's statement that was supposed to be read in court. I think it was Ndlovu or somebody. Because they're dead, there's no point. But now, why a dead man by the name of Buthelezi, whom I still believe lives in Zungu? His statement was read, and this particular judge was happy. As a matter of fact, he ordered it that this statement be read. And when they started reading, I was watching the replay on Wednesday. I just couldn't help myself rolling my eyes. I'm like, wow. The people of South Africa are being made a fool of. And some people actually took this and ran with it because I see them in my comments and I'm like, oh gosh. I think now it is understandable why you got 30% in your matric result. You almost failed matric. That is why you're making these sort of comments. And I'm like, no, it's true. It's true, guys. The people that are making the comments that we are defending criminals, they are the ones who cannot think beyond their nose. Because while they were busy writing the matric exam, they couldn't think beyond their nose either. And that is why they got 30%, and everything that is said in by the state, yes, it's the truth, it's the truth. And they are forgetting something about how the law works. It works with facts, it works with the law. And we are saying that, yes, accused number 1, accused number 3, accused number 4, and accused number 5 are convicted criminals. They are serving time for the heinous crimes that they have committed. I have no issue with that because they are criminals, and it's a fact because the court found them to be. Thandi, accused number 2, he has no cases. There was a case that was thrown out in Northwest because Gininda, they just rushed into his house. I still believe they planted those bullets, and the court in Pukeng said, out you go. And then they kept trying to nail him, and they are still trying to nail him because of what reason? He wants the country to now favor the police once again and say, hey, they are doing their job. And these 30%ers are coming and say, yeah, like defending the criminals. We are not defending the criminals. Sometimes there's this thing, you have an angel on both sides. One says, do it. The other one says, don't do it. There's this one that says, why don't you just wish them for something like what Thandi is going through? Let them also experience it, maybe just for 5 years. Just for 5 years. Maybe when they come back, must be through zeal. Because the thing is, Thandi and the 5 men and the other 4 men that are accused of killing Senzo Mewa are not the right people in that dock. The people that are supposed to be in the dock is the 7 people that were with Senzo Mewa on the 26th of October 2014. Not these men that are in the dock. Yes, okay, what picture and what picture? But we also want to hear the conversation between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 3, Kelly Khumalo and accused number 1, Kelly Khumalo and accused number 5. And so on and so forth. We don't want to hear about phone records this and phone records that and another phone record. What was the essence of that communication between them? Now they're talking about a picture of money, and I'm like, how many times have people circulated a picture of something? Maybe sometimes it's used as a meme. Sometimes it's used as something else. People just send a picture, and then out of the blue, that particular picture becomes a evidence of interest. And then now it's found in so many phones, and suddenly everybody now is a person of interest that needs to be arrested and brought to a court because they conspired to kill somebody. That doesn't make sense to me at all. I want to hear what is the essence, what is the tangibility of what the conversations was between Kelly Khumalo as well as the accused that commissioned this heinous crime. It's not them. It's not them. The clan have been saying this for the longest time, that the 5 people that stand accused of killing Senzo Mewa are incorrect people. Yes, they're criminals. Well, some of them. Only one person that isn't, because he's not convicted of anything. Never been convicted of anything. But they're trying to pin 30 charges of what? The way Gininda painted Thandi, it was as if he was this 55-year-old man who has been doing heinous crimes, selling and dealing in weapons. He was only 22 or 24 years old at the time. And I'm not saying at 22 or 24, you may not be notorious for something. But this is the same Inkabi that works in a mine. Secondly, where have you heard anywhere in the world where a hitman voluntarily walks into a police station after they've been arrested for a different crime and say, oh, by the way, I also want to talk about a hit that I did in 2014 regarding Senzo Mewa. Yes, it was me and it was myself and so. A hitman. Hitmen work on a code of conduct. And the code of conduct is, If I'm going to have to tell you, I will have to kill you. That is their code of conduct. They tell nobody. If it slipped by accident, guess what will happen to you? Guess what will happen to you? Now, the worst part about this, the Inkabi, two Inkabi, they didn't speak to each other. They did not influence each other like, yeah, I'm fair too. Let's go to the police and just tell them the truth about the killing of Senzo Meyiwa. But no, individually, in different times, they decide, the drugs and the ammunition, that's nothing. We kill Senzo. That sounds ridiculous. For you to stand in court, in the witness box, and call them hitmen. And I agree with Sfiso Meyiwa. Sfiso Meyiwa said, when a hitman does a job, it doesn't do it with one bullet. And it made sense to me, like, yeah, I mean, even if you hit the brain, the head, the person can still survive. There are people who have been shot in the head before, but they're still amongst us today, decades later. So if you're a hitman, you make sure you hit all the vital organs several times, and then if there are any witnesses, including a child, down. But no, not these 5 hitmen. 5, but we are told that 2 people entered that house on the 26th of October. The math. It does not make sense. So, if you guys are interested, on my True Crime YouTube channel, I posted a video yesterday of Thandi Maqubela. Remember the lady who was accused of killing her judge husband in Cape Town? Yep, I did that particular case yesterday. And guess what happened in that case? She was found guilty for the murder of her husband, even though evidence showed that her husband, when he was found dead, he was badly decomposed. So meaning that when the autopsy was conducted, it could not find the cause of death. But she was still convicted of killing her husband. Yes, there are some few discrepancies that I felt I was taken aback by, because she did some few things during that time when her husband died. And so she was basically convicted under circumstantial evidence type of situation. And I've said on this channel, South Africa is not a circumstantial evidence type of country. It's about facts. You need to bring tangibility on the table before a judge and say, listen, this is the evidence that showed that Thandi Maqubela murdered her husband. You don't come with circumstantial evidence and hope for the best. And then the High Court in Cape Town, the Cape High Court, finds her guilty on circumstantial evidence. And then the case, she serves 4 years in prison. In 2017, after serving 4 years in prison, she decides to approach the Supreme Court of Appeal. And guess what the Supreme Court of Appeal said? This woman was wrongfully convicted of a murder of her husband, or the death of her husband, whom the court believed that he died of natural causes. There's no evidence that shows that she had a hand in the death of her husband. She was set free. Now, why am I talking about Thandi Maqubela and the Senzo Meyiwa case? Because we have a judge in the High Court right now by the name of Judge Rata Mokgotleng. He is about to make the same mistake that the judge in the Cape High Court made the same mistake with Thandi Maqubela and sent her to prison, convicted her of murder, and sentenced her to 18 years in prison. Okay, it's 15 because she also did some few questionable things with the will of her husband, excluding other children outside of the marriage and only her own children. But the point that I'm trying to make is the Rata Mokgotleng will find, by the look of things, will find the 5 men stand accused of killing Senzo Meyiwa guilty. And then, of course, they will take the matter to the SCA, the Supreme Court of Appeal. And I foresee the Supreme Court of Appeal saying the same thing as they said about Thandi Maqubela. There is no evidence that shows that these 5 men were the ones that killed Senzo Mewa. They were wrongfully convicted. The right people that know who killed Senzo Mewa are 7 people that were with him on the 26th of October 2014. Those people know, and that is why I favor the National Prosecuting Authority issuing a warrant of arrest for Kelly Khumalo. I also believe the same thing that Sfiso Mewa believes. Kelly Khumalo did not pull the trigger. She didn't. She did not hire no hitman. I don't believe that either. But if you arrest her, she will sing, because there is no way that she'll be arrested and charged for the murder, or maybe for conspiracy to commit murder on Senzo Mewa and go to jail by herself when she knows very well who was the person that pulled the trigger. So use her as bait. She knows the truth. It's not the 5 men that stand accused of killing Senzo Mewa. That one is a lie. The other thing that I found very interesting was when they were playing the badly sounding recordings. I didn't know that those hindsights can be that terrible. You would think that we live in a developed or developing country, our machineries will be crisp, but no. Ooh, wow, that was terrible, honestly speaking. But I heard Ntanzi complaining, or maybe I was dreaming it, Ntanzi complaining about assault and torture in court. And that magistrate, all of that fell on deaf ears. He did not note it in whatever it is that they note down these situations. And that is why Baloyi does not want the transcript of that magistrate's court to be read out in this court. I agree with Advocate Mnisi. Advocate Mnisi, you may take him. That man is super intelligent. That man is super intelligent. And another thing that I realized that he was now taking off the gloves is because of Baloyi's tactics. Tactics that he would agree with them in one moment, then it comes before his favorite judge, whom will agree with him when he changes his mind and throwing the defense under the bus about what they agreed on the previous day. Of course, that is going to make you really upset, and you also start playing tricks. But these tricks for Mnisi is a reflection of the truth. Give us the transcripts of the magistrate's court that Ntanzi appeared in, where he made where he made a complaint that he was being tortured and also assaulted. On top of that, he was legally not represented because that Njiako person wanted him to confess to a crime he did not commit. It's on records. We want to hear those records when Ntanzi is saying this particular thing. But most importantly, was he legally represented on that particular appearance in the magistrate's court? So for me, I feel that Baloyi is really running away now. He's running away because he knows that the transcripts are going to say exactly what Mnisi just said on behalf of Ntanzi. The other thing that I'm having an issue with the 30%ers, you know, sometimes I understand you may like something, but if you can see that they're Ngangami, just, you know, quietly, just stand there in the wings. Don't show yourself that I got 30% on my matric certificate. I almost failed it by this. I almost did not see my name in the newspaper. Just, you know, just keep quiet. Let people who understand these things. We may not be experts. We may not have gone to university for this law. And we may not be the judges and the lawyers and all of those people. But still, we have a brain. Our brain, we can stretch it as far as we can. And we can think beyond our nose. That is why we say what we say, that there is no way that the 5 men that stand accused of killing Senzo Mewa are the right people that are in the dock. They are criminals. They are convicted for heinous crimes. That I admit, I agree. I am defeated on that one because it's the truth. They are convicted of killing people. But for Senzo Mewa, no. No. And I will stand by this until the truth comes out. And another thing that I find quite interesting is that Sfiso Meyiwa told the country that on the night of Senzo Meyiwa's death, there was a phone call that came through from Tumelo Madlala, who said Senzo Meyiwa has been accidentally killed by a boyfriend, Kazandile. But no, the 30%ers, no, we are Papa, we are Papa's Sfiso. So you are disputing his experience on the night. You are invalidating that phone call. Instead of you saying, listen, can we have the recordings or something, or at least some kind of sign that indeed Tumelo Madlala's cell phone did contact his cell phone number, Sfiso Meyiwa. That's all that you need. But no, we have Papa Sfiso. We have Papa Sfiso. These 5 men are the ones that killed Senzo Meyiwa. There is nothing more stubborn than an idiot. I don't know if you have experienced that before. There is nothing, absolutely nothing. That is why I always keep away. Because I was taught when I was raised, do not wrestle with the pigs in the environment. They will beat you with experience. So that is why I'm like, and these days, I decided that I'm just going to read the stupidity that I see in the SABC live chats. Because none of it, only few people that will make sense, even those that are with the state, some of them would write sensible things that will make me think as well, like, yeah, okay, that's a point. But the rest, like I said, they are bots, some of them. And this time around, I think more were bought to do what they do there. One sentence, Gininda is right. Gininda for president. Yeah, ne, small. But anyways, I do believe the same thing that Sfiso Meyiwa believes, that there is no way that Kelly Khumalo is the person that killed Senzo Meyiwa. And there is no way that she ordered for his murder. There's no way. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second. I never believed it before when people were coming like, no, there's a mastermind. And I'm like, if there's a mastermind, why this mastermind is not arrested? If there are 5 people that commissioned that crime and killed Senzo Meyiwa, and the MPA knows about the person that ordered these 5 men, why is that person not amongst the 5 people as accused number 6? That makes no sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense. That is why Gininda is lying through his teeth, trying to save whatever it is that he's trying to save. Because if he thinks he's saving the reputation of the SAPS, well, that ship sailed immediately we entered 1994. Immediately. Oh, trust and believe me when I tell you, we don't trust the police. If there's a department in this country that earns taxpayers' money for nothing, it is them. Before you come for me when I did not fetch you, the crime statistics speak for themselves. We will not have crime statistics like that if they were doing their job, or at least seem to be doing their job. Criminals are not afraid of them. Absolutely not afraid of them. Some of them are even working with the criminals. We've heard stories about how some of them hire out their service pistols to hijackers and criminals. And we're supposed to trust them? No, Gininda, you are playing games. And you are now making a fool of the Meyiwas as well. The very people who lost a loved one. Forget about the rest of us. But the people that lost somebody they love, a mother who gave birth to her son, is being made a fool of by a apparatus of the state that is supposed to come to her and say, listen, we are doing all that we can to find the person that killed your son. But no, they decide to lie straight on her face and also exclude her from many things. Sfiso Meyiwa is looked at as though he's an idiot. But he is saying, I got a call from Tumelo Madlala. I believe him. If anything, then let the investigators Connect the two phone calls. We might not want to know what the tangibility of that conversation was about, but did he call Sfiso Meiwa on the 26th or 27th in the morning of October 2014? Like, for real, people. 30%ers, please, you are not welcomed on my channel. You're not even welcome to make a comment because I will hide you from the channel. A lot of your colleagues are hidden from my channel, and I do see their comments, but we don't see. You'll see the number. When you look for the comment, it's not there. Why? Because you are hidden from my channel. So you can have him, but I just only read the first line. And then if I see 30%, I hide you from the channel. Period. Now, Popeye is dancing. So tomorrow we await the transcripts. Apparently, they should have been dropped today, and the lawyers are going through it. The defense is going through the transcripts. I'm very interested to hear particularly Ntanzi's legal representation. Was he legally represented on that last appearance at the Magistrates Court? And secondly, can we have Mjiako understand? I want to see something. Seriously, there is no way that as a lawyer you will take up a client without a power of attorney and without also having consultation files, reference number, something, payments. Come on. Who are you, sir? On that particular, this is the question. How are you involved in the state lying to the people of South Africa about the killing of Senzo Meyiwa? Because if I remember as well, apparently at the time, in 2020, you worked for something totally different at the time. You were working for the city. How are you a lawyer of the city and then at the same time you do private practice? Is that even allowed? So those are the things that I would be glad to hear from Giaco's mouth when he is called to the stand. I had hoped that Rata Mokgoatleng stuck to his guns about the magistrate as well as the interpreter being subpoenaed to this very court, so that they can be asked some very important questions, like the assault. I know I heard Ntanzi complaining to that magistrate about being assaulted and tortured. What did he do about it is what I want to know. Understand, because he'll be under oath, and there's no way that he'll want to compromise his legal career. I'm sure he has other ambitions someday to become a judge or something. There's no way he'll jeopardize all of that and lie through his teeth on the stand under oath. I would have hoped that the defense stuck to that, like, no, we'll get the transcripts, but we also want the magistrate and the interpreter subpoenaed. No, we need to hear the truth. Who killed Senzo Meyiwa? Amongst the 7 people that were with Senzo Meyiwa on the 26th of October 2014. One of them did. One of them knows it. No, one of them did. All of them know the truth. That is all that I am willing to say in this video. While I was just thinking about this whole thing, like, something is not making sense here. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about these false accusations of hitmen, Kelly Khumalo hiring hitmen. No. Why are you avoiding the house of the Khumalos on the 26th of October 2014? Why? Who are you protecting, sir? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to my thoughts regarding everything that I think transpired last week. And tomorrow we resume at the North Gauteng High Court. I think I'm just going to watch the replay because I'm going to be busy tomorrow. And the video will come around 11:30 p.m. If you are willing to sit up until then, or you can check it out the following morning. I don't have an issue with that. Thank you all for watching. Please watch the ads. I know the long ones you can skip, but all the other ones, please, can you not? Thank you. I appreciate you very much. You know that I miss you. I love you. See you next time. Goodbye.